you, my all. Welcome back to AM This Morning. You're looking at a live shot of Wellington. Thank you to our camera operator, Billy Payne. That was the Dominion Observatory, I think, there up on the hill you just saw. It's a high of 9 today, a low of 7. Mainly fine at first, but showers developing this morning. It's taking 15 minutes from the airport into the city and over an hour from Peka Peka. If you stay tuned this week, you might get to see Billy Payne. You might drag him in on the couch one day. Traffic updates thanks to our partner Battery Zone, your local battery expert.
I hope we do, because everyone will fall in love with Billy because he's such a good dude. Thanks for that, Mel. We have a lot of laughs on this show, as you know. We have a lot of fun too. It's a part of what we love about this show, and I guess you think that as well because you email us all the time about how much fun that we're having. But we are primarily a news show. We always have been. News is what drives us, and it's the reason that we exist. And over the years, over the numerous iterations of AM, we've always been there for all of the big news events, many of which were happening and unfolding and changing while we were on air. So here is a glimpse back at some of them.
Developing news at Parliament this morning. Riot shields, a helicopter and forklifts have been deployed to the 3-week-long demonstration.
Actually, you're seeing live pictures here of police moving in on that anti-mandate protest.
For a couple of days now, a feeling amongst the protesters that police have been swelling in number, that some sort of operation is going to go down today.
We are broadcasting live from Nelson this morning, a flood-hit region. I actually heard cracking in the hills above us where there have already been slips.
So thousands of Ukrainians have been forced to flee attacks from Russia's invasion.
Instantly you're struck with just the scale of what is happening here. Men in Ukraine are being forced to stay there and fight and enlist and join the army.
And she gave her life saving others.
We were not a target because we are a safe harbour for those who hate. We were not chosen for this act of violence because we condone racism, because we're an enclave for extremism. We were chosen for the very fact that we are none of these things.
We have managed to raise $321,000 for the City Mission this morning.
Lloyd, just about 1 minute ago we heard gunshots. We were about to do some FIFA crosses and then we heard of all the commotion. We saw the construction workers coming out. There were people running out of the building. I can hear things happening behind me as we speak. I can hear yelling. As you can see over here, there is someone. He is all bloody. He's being held by police. This is definitely a police officer. He has blood down his chest. He has the badge on his arm.
Do we have a cost of living crisis?
I wouldn't describe it that way.
I've just spent a lot of money on an amazing degree that I cannot go and use because it's cheaper for me to be at home.
What does she say to the mother of 5, Christine Nation, who told the AM show, quote, "This is something that is so embarrassing to say, but I cannot afford to go to work."
For many people, it will absolutely feel like that.
But you won't say the words?
In that same interview, this represents a crisis for many families, absolutely.
Family and friends desperate for information have been listing names online after the eruption on Whakaari White Island.
Firefighters rushed to the Loafers Lodge on Adelaide Street shortly after midnight. Up to 100 people were in the building at the time, with over 50 now accounted for.
We know that there's quite a few elderly people living in the building, and some had to be plucked from the roof this morning when they were rescued by fire crews.
These are live pictures from the scene right now.
Yeah, it's been nearly 7 years, nearly to the day actually, since the last Port Hills fire.
It's clear to see an orange glow sort of hovering over the whole entire Port Hills.
There's another one here with its monsoon bucket.
We want to be able to help you connect with this rescue, but it's a tricky one. Tell her.
We were flying over a particular horse that was on the stop bank.
That horse is named Poppy, and earlier this morning, more than a year after the rescue, Joe met with Poppy.
And this is Poppy.
This is Poppy. She's like not pulling up the tricks.
Hello, Poppy. I think Poppy's more attached to my apple than she is to me.
What we've been really focused on is getting some fiscal austerity.
Fiscal austerity? Is that what we're eyeing up?
No,
austerity.
We have tried almost every day, every weekday in the last 2 weeks to ask you to come on and have this conversation, which I think has been pretty reasonable.
Lloyd actually has my phone number. And I've never actually received a phone call.
Why did you have to bring the Holocaust into this?
Because last year, Waititi from the Maori Party said that Maori had superior DNA.
We stood her down from the small business portfolio immediately following that news.
So we're 6 weeks on. Why are we just hearing about this now?
Christopher Luxon, if you shut down the Suicide Prevention Office, you will be telling people that are struggling with suicidal thoughts all around this country that their lives are worth less than your tax cuts.
Down the West Coast, they told me, Jonesy, down here, we'll take coal before dole any time of the day.
Take your time, it's okay.
Don't judge the book by the cover.
This is so beautiful.
It is with great sadness that we interrupt our program to tell you that Queen Elizabeth II has passed away. The reality of what has actually happened here didn't sink in for me and probably a lot of people until the Queen's coffin was taken on a procession through the streets of Scotland today. A crown that changed a princess's life at the age of 27, the monarch who changed the lives of so many since she wore it.
Oh, that was a big look back, wasn't it? And a big thanks to our producer Olivia Wilson and editors Juan Prada and Sam Ardern for putting that together. A lot of work goes in there, digging stuff out the library as well, and to the library crew for doing it.
And a big thank you to those of you who have shared your stories with us on the show across the many iterations of it, in good times and in bad too.
You've been part of many of the, AM over the years, haven't you?
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of you with Whakaari.
And this is what I think I love about Breakfast News. It is that beautiful mix. You have the hard news, the serious news, you have the fun news, you have the stuff that makes you cry and the stuff that makes you laugh. And it's that beautiful mix of light and shade. And watching that, it actually just makes me feel quite emotional, to be honest. And it's the fact we're not going to be providing that anymore. And it's such important news. And, we love the audience and we love their engagement and love watching you two every morning. And, that's just seems so very sad.
Thank you. Obviously, there will still be places for you to get your news, but we appreciate you joining us here in the morning. Now, coming up, the 8 o'clock news and then today.